Binder or trans tape? Which one do I do? So if you're, a transmasculine individual who would like to remove some chest dysphoria, thinking about binding, or maybe you already am, you probably ask yourself that question, right? Binder or trans tape, which one's easier? Hopefully you're looking for the easiest option, because I always am. Which one's going to be easier? Which one's going to give the best results? And which one's going to cause, the least trouble? Pretty much, or equipment, whatever. The most convenient option. So, what is trans tape? What is a binder? What is that? A binder is basically like a compression shirt. You see people at the gym wearing like compression shirts or whatever. They're slightly compressing, or if you've seen on the internet, I see a lot of things marketed to, perhaps someone who's on the overweight side of the spectrum there, and their weight, they have these, what is it called? It's called like the man hugger or something. It's like a compression tank top, supposed to it's like a waist trainer. It's like a tank top, compression, whatever. It's just compressing. That's all it is. It's just squeezing you. Of course, not to any discomfort. It gets pretty close to it, but not quite. But trans tape is like an adhesive tape. If you've heard of KT tape, or if you're an athlete, you've probably encountered something pretty close to trans tape, right? Like you tape your knees, tape your ankles, whatever. You just end up taping your chest. Instead, they basically do the same thing, right? You're trying to flatten your chest. If you have like double D's or whatever, you look in the mirror, you're like, well, it's wraps, right? No. You're still in a good place. There's something for you. And so I'm gonna run quickly through the pros and cons of each, way to tackle the chest dysphoria here. So with binders, it's super easy. You just flap it on and go. Super easy. It gives like more consistently flat, good for beginners, and it works for, larger chest sizes. And I actually see, strangely enough, I see a lot of ads for like the opposite of push-up bras, like compression bras, because, some women, it's like, obviously breast reduction is a thing. Some people, like some women need that, right? It's just disproportionate. It's causing back issues. Before they undergo surgery, they often use these compression bras, basically like a binder, to make their chest appear smaller and more, proportionate to their body or how they want to be seen. If you want something reliable, low effort, binders are usually the way to go. I found the trouble comes mostly from finding the right one for you. Just like, any sort of garment, right? You're trying to look for something that suits you, fits you, and, is reliable for you. So, the cons, I'd say, is it can feel restrictive. You're not supposed to work out in these things. I tried once. Okay, you're not supposed to. It feels so bad, first of all. Second of all, like you can get chafing depending on, like the canvas side versus, the silk side of your binder, yada, yada. It just doesn't feel good. Do not do it. It's hard to breathe sometimes, if you go running in it. Okay, personal experience, don't do that. Feels so bad. You can safely, wear them for 8 hours. Do not sleep with these things on. That's like the worst idea, even by my standards. It's just like the worst idea. Why would you do that? It's just like 8 hours max. Okay. It gets like hot in the summer. It's like, previously wearing like a bra, sports bras, whatever. It gives the same feel. You're like, oh, this is just gross. I wish I could take this off and just be free. One day, guys, one day, but that is not today. And it's just not great for your ribs or back long-term if you do it. If you're just like spamming a binder, you're like, I'm just gonna wear this every day, all the time for like 5 years. Good luck with your scoliosis, brother. Good luck. Good luck with your forever waist trained look, you know, like Kylie Jenner or whatever who got her ribs removed, you know, good luck with that. It's just, you gotta be careful, okay? Very, very careful. And here's where like the trans tape comes in comparison, right? Like the pros, you got way more freedom. First of all, no compression around your ribs. It's strictly applied to, you know, your chest, and it goes kind of around your lats to your back, kind of pulling away from, what is it? Your sternum or whatever, right down the center, split the center, and it pulls back kind of towards your pits and your lats there. You can breathe normally because nothing's compressing you down onto your chest. You can wear it like longer, multiple days if you apply it, you know, properly. You can shower, you can sleep, you can go anywhere, you can do anything. You can go out shirtless if you get your, like the right skin tone or however you want to use it. You can get black trans tape and you just go outside. You know, whoop-de-doo. It's way better for like wearing open shirts and shirtless at the beach. If you wear like a flannel, you drop it right down the center, people will be like, whoa, you already got your top surgery? That's awesome, you know? It's, you know, it's super affirming and stuff like that, but the cons, you know, for the tape, like it's not perfect. It takes a learning curve. I wasted like 2 whole rolls of KT tape trying this for the first time. And after a couple of times, I decided it's just not for me, but like, I went through all these things, you know, irritated skin, removal can hurt if you don't use oil. You might not get as flat as you could with a binder, especially with bigger chests. Costs can add up over time because you got to keep purchasing this tape, and it's not cheap. If you go online and, you know, you go get some actual like trans tape, that's expensive, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just not buying that. I just bought KT tape because it's super cheap. As far as I have read, it's basically the same. People say that it's just like one of them's branded for trans people. Whatever, I just use KT tape. I find a specific issue I had was that it felt like the middle of my chest was being ripped out of me. Like someone was taking out my heart or something. Since it was pulling apart so much, I had so much stress in between, you know, my breast tissue that it would hurt. Or it would feel like I'm getting stretch marks. And I was like so freaked out. I was like, oh my God, like, I don't want stretch marks on my chest. Are you kidding me? Like right in the middle, that'd be a really weird mark to have. So I personally just bind because it's like way easier. I find, you know, I don't have too much discomfort wearing it for 8 hours. I have gone over by a couple of hours out of necessity. You know, if I'm straight up just not home for that long, stuff like that. But most days I can get by, you know, and just like throw on a binder, go wherever, come back home. And, you know, if we're going to the gym, just throw on a sports bra. Nobody's really looking at you like that anyway at the gym. But I find I'm not, people don't stare at me anyway. But like, you know, it's a case by case thing. If you want to wear it to the gym, I would just say, man, skip out on the running. Don't do it. It does not feel good. And basically, you know, I'm trying to think which one's better. It really, really depends on your situation. You know, if you want an easy, reliable, quick way to compress your chest and get outside without, you know, wanting to cry and stuff, a binder is going to help you out a ton. But you're going to have to, you know, probably measure yourself, even though it'll be uncomfortable. You know, you got to go online, get a binder that's reliable. You know, I find a lot on like these forums I'm reading and these websites I'm going on. Some of these, you know, brands are not reputable, or the results are inconsistent, even if you're buying the same product as somebody else. It could also be like a human factor, you know, different body types and whatever. But I got the GC2B. I got a size small because I'm usually a medium in every other piece of clothing. That's for like male clothing items. So I just got a small. Works for me. One thing I will say is do not put that thing in the dryer. It will shrink. Not a lot, but enough to make it hard to get on. So do not put that thing in the dryer. Hang it up, dry it, air dry it. Do that. Easiest option. And then, you know, for KT or trans tape, you know, if you want comfort, mobility, longer wear, like less maintenance, trans tape is going to be for you. But, you know, I find, you know, guys with smaller chests have a way better time with trans tape than they do binding, because it's just not worth, right? Like, I don't think people are, you know, so ready to disclose their chest size and stuff like that. But like, if you would say, you know, make the call, you're like, oh, do I have a bigger chest or a smaller chest or whatever? Also try it out. I could be wrong. I'm just some bloke, you know, just some kid on the internet. So please go try it yourself, but please do it safely. Do not take medical wrap it around you. I've tried. Do not do it. It's just like no results, looks like garbage, feels like garbage. Nobody wins. But, you know, I could talk about safety forever, but, you know, for binders, don't wear it too long. Don't sleep in it. Don't exercise in it. Point blank. A lot of restrictions, you know. For tape, just use oil to remove it. Don't rip it off dry. You will have lacerations and marks on you, for sure. Go on Reddit, search it up. You'll see the horrors, gong shows that have taken place because of trans tape application and removal. Give your skin breaks, like between taping. It's kind of like not invasive, but abrasive to the skin. You know, you're taping your skin, man. Like, you can't have that on 24/7. So, you know, if you have a lot of dysphoria, maybe a mix of the both will help for you. But I don't know. I find the best way to cope is to, you know, enjoy the times that I'm not wearing a binder, because I can breathe nice. I can, you know, I have a poncho and it pretty much hides everything. So I just throw on a poncho and I just hang out, right? What is nobody gonna get mad at me for wearing a poncho? You know, even in the summer. Come on, just wear a poncho. It's not a big deal. Nobody's gonna say nothing. But you know, at the end of the day, both are tools to achieve the same thing and alleviate the same, you know, symptoms and problem that you have. You don't have to suffer to pass. You don't have to destroy your body to feel comfortable in it, okay? Try to figure things out and what works for you. Don't feel pressure to do what everyone else is doing, the techniques everyone else is doing. Use this information to your own discretion, right? Unfortunately, you do kind of have to do most of the research and the practical work of this stuff, but that's what comes with being a trans masculine person. Not because it's easy, but if you use, you know, a binder or if you use tape, drop your experience down in the comments. I'm curious what worked for you. I'm always open to hear new experiences, open my own mind, you know, to what's going on, what's in the what now. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching.